new irritating thing is happening. Okay, Danny, I got you recording. We're recording. Yay. Okay, so first of all, I want to thank everybody. Happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining us this week. I am super excited as usual. I have an awesome 200K on Lydia Laws, and I cannot wait to dive in. We're going to jump right in. We're not going to waste any time, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear her story and her tips today. Lydia, I would love, you're probably going to have to unmute yourself. I would love if you could start with, what were you doing before network marketing? Were you working? Were you stay-at-home mommy? What was your gig? And then what did you do any network marketing before Lavelle? If so, like, were you good? Did you see any success at all? And then how did you find Lavelle, and we'll kind of go from there.
Okay, thank you so much, Lisa, for asking me to be on this Zoom. It's such an honor, and I'm excited to share stuff with you guys today. Honestly, you know, before this, I was just a stay-at-home mama. My hubby was in oil and gas, traveled all the time. I've got 3 kiddos, 2 of them are twins, so to say that my hands were full, yeah, that's putting it lightly, because they pretty much did me in, because he traveled like 2 weeks at a time, so I was pretty much like crazy mom, chicken with my head cut off, running around, literally had no time. And you know, you mamas know what I mean. So super busy, but also exhausted. And I had played around a little bit with direct sales before Lavelle. I guess I never really got fully serious with them. And I don't know, but probably because it just was not my jam. You know, I wasn't passionate about it, because passion is huge in this business. You've got to have it, and you've got to have a strong why to keep you going in those downtimes, which are going to happen. So I didn't have a big network or anything like that. I had no team coming with me or anything. And honestly, when I say stay-at-home mom with twins, guys, they had just barely turned 5 when I found Lavelle. And with that said, I literally was like the at-home mama. I did not change my schedule for anybody or anything. Their nap time came first. So I wasn't the mom that was super social. I am a social person. I love being around people, but that time of my life, it was just not an option. I had to keep myself sane and take care of everything while hubby was gone. So I didn't have like this huge group of friends. We'd moved to Houston. I didn't know a whole lot of people here. So really, I just was your typical at-home mom all the time with babies. And so with that said, when I came across Lavelle, my best friend from college, Mitzi Driver, she's also a twin mama. We are a lot alike. I've known her since I was 18, and we were roomies in college. I could relate to her. I knew her and I trusted her. Those are key right there. If it would have been anybody else, I probably would have even been more hesitant to say yes. I did see her posting about her patch, you know, and I'm like, what is all this energy this chick has? Because I know she's drinking Red Bulls like me to get through the day. So I immediately reached out to her, probably within her first few days of posting, because she was such a good friend and I trusted her. I had hoped that it would work for me too, even though I'd tried everything. But even when I reached out to her and we chatted, I was still skeptic, and I told her no, I wasn't going to buy a month. I wasn't going to do that. And she goes, well, I can send you a sample pack and it's $25. You can PayPal me. Y'all, my best friend. I did. And Mitzi may be on here right now laughing, but I paid her $25 PayPal and she sent me 3 days. And that's kind of where it started, Lisa. As far as that, was that trial pack. So do you want me to go into how I started, or I'll stop there for a second? I think I answered everything.
You did. So I would love to know what your time frames were, as far as, you know, how long it took you. Well, first of all, did you get your VIP bonuses? Did you come in and like hit the ground running? Did you go 4K in 30 days? And then how long between each time frame for you to walk the ladder to 200K?
So I joined back in 2014. Oops, just a second. Am I here? Okay, sorry. My husband was calling. I joined back
I know
in.
that people always want to call right when you get on a Zoom, right? It's like,
I know. I joined back in 2014 and May of 2014. So, guys, it was at the beginning. You know, people always say, "Oh, if you join the company in the beginning, you know, you're ahead of everybody, and you know, you get in first, it's better." And just a second, my husband keeps calling and he's out of town, and I know if I don't answer, he's going to be like, "Are you alive?" Let me see.
that's okay, girl. Answer him. Family first. just just so he knows nothing's wrong, or you know nothing's wrong.
Yeah, he it's crazy. Y'all, I'm so sorry. Let me just let him know because he'll keep calling thinking, "Are you
That's
alive?"
okay.
Like, is the kids okay? Like, what's happening? Okay. So am I back?
You're
Okay.
fine.
So
Hey,
with
you're
that,
good to
I
go.
will say I honestly kind of had a bad taste in my mouth about direct sales just because I don't know. I think a lot of people do because, like me, I kind of dabbled and I was like, I'm tired of paying for stuff and buying stuff, and then I don't really see results, and it's taking more of my, you know, extra income than I want it to or whatever. I just was like, I'm not going to promote anything else. I'm done. I'm done doing that. Because like I said, I'd shared a few things, but I told Mitzi I would be her customer. Now, with that said, when I got that trial pack that I was super skeptical about, day one, I messaged her at noon and said, "Where do I buy this? What's that link thing?" And I ordered as a customer because I wasn't going to promote. Within 3 days, I flipped to promoter, and I actually totally screwed up Mitzi's VIP because I didn't know what all that meant. I was like, "Girl, if it's free to promote," when I started learning about that it was free, and I questioned her a lot. I'm like, "Girl, are you sure? Because they're going to debit my account for some kind of fees, and I don't want all that. Like, I just love this product, and I'm going to get it for my hubby. So I guess I'll flip to promoter or whatever." Well, I flipped before she kind of guided me with what to do because ignorance on fire, and screwed up her VIP. So she had to like fix all that to actually hit it. And then, but that was within 3 days. With that said, I ran like ignorance on fire. I hit VIP 800 in 3 days. Literally knew nothing of what I was doing, just putting it out there. Oh my gosh, I love this Thrive stuff. You know, letting everybody know, calling my closest friends and family, you know, sharing it with them. And by the end of the 14 days, I earned VIP 1600. So both those bonuses, and still not knowing what I'm doing. We hit 4K in about 3.5 weeks. So I kind of got a good quick start there, which was exciting. I've never gotten that far in any other direct sales, anything I've ever done. And getting that iPad in the mail, back then they mailed it to you. And it took like 6 weeks to get here. That was like the biggest day ever to get a free iPad. Like I was like, holy crap, this is awesome. Like I'm rocking it. I was so excited. And then I stalled. 2014, yes, and I stalled. Like people around me, other people that had joined me at that time were blowing up. You know, with Mitzi being a good friend of mine and being her direct, like she blew up to 200K in 4 months, and I was still sitting between 4 and 8K. Like literally, like what? Why can't I get this moving? Like what's going on? I'm doing everything. I'm sharing. I'm posting. I'm talking to people, and I was just kind of stuck. But I kept going. And so what? I'm not going to get into that whole story, Lisa, because you might want to like add some more questions. But as far as hitting the ranks, it did take me 7 to 8 months to hit 12K. Another year to hit 40. There was another year and a few months to hit 80K, and then another year to hit 200K. So it took me over 4 years to hit that 200K rank. So yeah, long, like 4.5 year plan.
I gotta tell you, I'm so glad you're on today because the fact of the matter is that's going to be most people's timelines. Like I think a lot of people hear these stories of people going 200K. I don't even like to share my story because it's stupid. Like nobody goes 200K in 30 days. I did that because I had a network. Like I came from
Mm-hmm.
another company and I had a network, and a lot of people don't know that backstory. So when they're hearing all of, and I get it, companies have to highlight people that go fast. I mean, obviously, if somebody does something amazing, they have to shout you out. So when the company's only shouting out all of these amazing people climbing the ladder so quickly, the rest of us sitting here stuck at 4K or not even grabbing our first customer yet, we're thinking, oh my God, we're doing something wrong. And the fact of the matter is that 99% of people that join this company, it's going to take 5 years to go 200K if you're consistent and you work this business every day. That's just the deal. Like 5 to 7 years. That's why I teach people you got to be on the 5 to 7 year plan and treat it like a business. Imagine if you would have given up because you couldn't get past 4K for 8 months. Imagine that. Like you would not be here today.
Mm-mm.
Like, do you ever think about, did you think about quitting in that time frame? Or not
You
really
know,
quitting, but did you think like, oh my God, this is never going anywhere. I'm just going to stay stuck here.
I felt discouraged at times because here I am watching my best friend and all these other, a lot of 200K millionaire earner names that a lot of you guys have heard of multiple times that started around that time, and they were skyrocketing past me. And there I was like the turtle and they were the hares. Like it was insane, ridiculous, like how behind I felt. But with that said, like I saw what was happening with Mitzi, like firsthand. Like I was going to Dallas and traveling by myself to see Paul at locals because we didn't have locals in Houston then, like, and we're a big city. I was going to where stuff was, and I was getting around other people that were like-minded, that were going after this and seeing the success they were having, and firsthand seeing it with Mitzi, and was like, well, why can't I do this? She's doing this. I'm no different than her. Like, in fact, we're a lot alike. Like, I can do this. So I've always had that mindset, even though I've had challenges throughout my entire journey. I never really wanted to quit, but I did feel times of, challenge and setbacks and frustration, that kind of stuff, a lot. I teach my team a lot that if you're not feeling a little bit defeated in this business, you're not doing it right, because you're going to feel a little defeated when you get told no after you reached out to 40 people that day. And it's going to happen. And, so, if you're feeling that defeat, that you're a step ahead, because you're going to get closer to those people that are going to say yes. So I love the product, and that's always kept me going. And I was having fun, and I had, great friends that were doing this with me. And so I tried to focus on those things, even though those challenges and stuff were absolutely there. But quitting has never been an option for me, I guess, is the thing. I won't let it. I won't let that be an option.
So tell me, I mean, because here's the deal, like, this is not easy. Like
Mm-mm.
anybody that told anybody on here that it was going to be so easy, they freaking lied to you, because network marketing is a business just like any other business. It's going to take all the things. And over the last 5 years and 6 years, I'm sure you've heard all the no's. I'm sure you've been unfriended. I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
you've had people leave your team. I'm sure you've had stuff happen. You've probably missed a bonus or lost a bonus. Who knows? Share with us some of the things that you've had to go through, because there's people on this call right now. I mean, I've got people on my team right now that I'm red legged, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, stop whining because you have an amazing leg. Like,
Yeah.
what is wrong with you? Or I just lost somebody. It's the end of the world. I'm like, you just keep going. You're going to lose people. People quit. And it's just so like frustrating, because I watch good people that I know would be amazing in this business they just give up on themselves and they don't keep going. So share some of the things I think they need to know. Look, whether we're 200K or not, or your road getting there, it was just like theirs.
Yeah. Okay. So, y'all, my journey has not been easy. That's come with a lot of challenge. And during the time, right when we hit 12K, not only the girl that joined me and helped me finally hit 12K, the one that was going to change my business joined me, and the people that she brought on, and one of her promoters that hit a bonus, her VIP, is what took me to 12K after that 7-8 months of, trying to get it there. And even to get her to join me took 3 to 4 months for her to say yes. With that said, right after that, my husband was laid off. He's oil and gas, and it was devastating because that was our bread and butter. I was just kind of having fun with this and rolling with the punches. But did I have goals? Did I want to get 12K and hit these ranks and get him home full time with me? Yes, because he was gone. He missed everything with my kids. He almost missed me delivering our twins if it wasn't that I went into labor early. So I could go on forever about what that guy's missed with my kids, but that'll take me all day. So with that said, during that time, dealing with life that just hits you in the face, not just business struggle, but life slapping you in the face, that was happening. And at that time I knew, holy crap, I got to keep this going, because will he find another job? I hope so, but I don't know. You had faith that he would, but the oil and gas industry hasn't been doing well for years. So that was kind of scary to me. With that said, it was a very slow process. And so during that time, you're plugging away, even though life is still hitting you in the face, right? And so, the girl that joined me back in 2015, that completely changed my business, to say that 2020 has been a crap year is putting it lightly, right? We've all dealt with some crap this year, but she decided in February she was going to leave. Y'all, she was an 80K leg. And it almost gets me emotional because we were more than just business partners. We were friends. I'd been there for her through thick and thin of, life. And for her to decide to just leave, that was devastating. It was devastating not only for me as a friend and a business partner to her, but also to my business. And Lisa, I had to kind of giggle at myself when you said red leg, because that's been my journey, is red leg. If it's not one side, it's the other, it seems like. And I joke around with some of my leaders, about like red leg's better than no leg. Embrace that, because you have volume there that others would just kill to have. Embrace it and roll with it, because eventually it's going to even out, and it just will, and I think the hardest thing is, this is the girl that decided to leave. I never thought she would, Lisa. I never thought she would, because we were so connected. There was no signs there. Literally, guys, last October, she brought in 15 new promoters within her team, within a week to week and a half time frame. Like, things were moving. Goodness, my messages are going crazy. Things were moving. And then a month and a half later, all of a sudden I start noticing things aren't going right, that she's just not all in or whatever, and then decides to leave. So literally deleted her account, gone. And it's been tough, so it's somebody that I never thought would leave. She's the first one that came in and changed my business, and she left and it changed again. So lots of challenge there.
It sucks. And let me tell you what, I've been doing this for 10 years. This is my 10-year anniversary in this industry. And it is the worst thing ever when you feel like someone decides to take another journey, or they may decide to just stop doing network marketing for some reason. And it is a blow, because you feel like you've poured into somebody so much, and it feels like, you can't imagine your journey without this person. And then a part of you, depending on what happens, those of you guys, if you've lost somebody to another company, you feel betrayed because they start taking people. You trusted this person. There's so many things, but one thing I've learned is that if people are not meant to be on your journey, at some point they're going to go. And I think God's kind of does like a cleaning out, cleans the house sometimes. And it's crazy where if you just kind of let it be where it's supposed to be, the right people will be brought to you again. And the right people, you're going to end up with the right people. It always turns back around. And I think, just through your trials and tribulations and sticking through this and being patient with the process, because I can imagine with, looking at Misty and them being like, oh my gosh, why is she moving so fast and I'm kind of stuck? You
Mhm.
probably done a lot of comparison. Were you stuck in that comparing? Like, what is wrong with me?
Sometimes, yes. And then sometimes I just have to laugh at myself like, holy crap, like what, are you serious right now? Surely my day's coming, our team's days come in or whatever. But there's been so many ups in this journey, where bonuses, that I've earned some crazy bonuses that have just changed our lives as far as, with my husband being out of work, and he was out of work for a long time. And now with COVID, it's been in and out again. Um, you know, I have to focus on those good things. That's one thing I like about the memories on Facebook and things like that, because it brings up, that stuff that, oh, 2 years ago was this, and, we're at Thrivepalooza and it was that. And, it's so fun to look at those moments and go, you know what, we're going to get that back, even though she left. And guys, I'll be honest, like, it's tough. She's got a deep team with a lot of levels. And even though I'm connected to a lot of them, it's amazing what can happen when a main leader that people trusted joins you, and that's their connection to you, is that person, and now they're gone. Trying to jump over and get to everybody has taken me, I mean, I'm still working on it. Like, it's a nonstop, like, search in the cloud. Who's ordering, who's not, who's active, who can I, love on just a little bit and let them know, hey, I'm here to help you, even though so-and-so's not. And so it's tough. It's tough. I've definitely been challenged with it. At the end of the day, though, that's not going to dictate my reality in this business and what the goals I have for my family. If people decide to leave, that's on them. And I know they're, she's going to regret it. I know she is, because I'm like, do you realize everything you're leaving behind? That's 5 years of work, y'all. She was with me for 5 years. So yeah, pretty crazy.
Well,
So
I can tell
comparison is a big one.
you're like 100% right. She will absolutely regret it. I mean, I just said on the GOAT Zoom that this past weekend, I've literally watched, us lose 4 to 5 different 280Ks that have all tried to come back. Some of them have just given up on network marketing because they've been through their 5th company. It's like the grass is green where you water it, y'all. It really is. And
Mhm.
unless, I always tell people are like, well, you left a company. And I'm like, yeah, because here's the thing. If you're looking at a company and it is not growing anymore and no one is ranking, and that company has not produced anybody at top ranks anymore, okay, there might be something wrong. But when you have a company like Lavelle that clearly is growing, their numbers are growing every month, they're debt free, they're 8 years young, and on top of that, they have literally people reaching the top ranks of the comp plan every month. Something's happening. It's craziness. Like, you're in the
Mhm.
right place at the right time. So there's a
Yep.
big difference. And at the end of the day, what you have to understand is that, it's always going to be okay as long as you keep going. And I think you've realized that, like, as long as you go. And here's the thing, Lydia, and I can tell by the way that you've never counted on just one person to grow your business. And that's the problem with a lot of people on here, is they get to 4K or 12K and they're like, okay, now I've got this team under me, I'm going to go manage them, and they're now going to get me to 40K, and then they're going to get me to 80K. And we kind of stop doing the do ourselves, falling into that management mode place. And let me tell you what, guys, that is going to kill you, because the
Mhm.
same people that get you to 4K will not be the same ones that get you to 12K. The ones that got you to 12K will not be the ones that got you to 40K. All the way up the ladder, you're going to have new people joining all the time that take you to that next place. And if it's to be, it's up to me. So if you guys are sitting there counting on someone else to get you to 200K, you have the wrong mindset. You've got to change that mindset and know that you have to do it. And I just think that your story so far is so incredible, because it's so relatable to so many people. And a lot of times on every week when I get people on, the beginning of their journey is not relatable to people, like my story or Chas's story or so many others that even went 4K. I mean, if anybody went 200K within their first year, you're in the top 1%. Okay. Like it is not easy to do. It's going to be a journey for most people. So I love that your story is going to be a lot of other people's stories. And I think that already today you have touched a billion people. I would love to get into, one of the questions I like to ask every 200K is, you've been in like 5 years now, like almost 6 years. Like, how do you continue to grow your network? Because I'm pretty sure your friends and family have probably joined, like the ones that are going to join you, they probably joined you. So how do
Yeah.
you continue to find new people?
I think first of all is a lot of people think, oh my gosh, I've talked to everybody, there's nobody else, and that's not true. I still get out in my area, neighborhood, whatever, and I run into people every day that have never heard of Thrive. I even got me a mask that says, "Do you thrive?" Because if I'm going to wear it, I'm working my business. I'll tell you what, if I'm in this grocery store, they're going to ask me what Thrive is because I have it written on my face. And a lot of people don't know about it still. And so first of all, you've got to get it out of your head that you think everybody knows about it. Your warm market might, but people don't know about it. I mean, even I don't know why this just came to my head, but last year, trick or treating with my kids, I was running, house to house with my kids trick or treating and met people in the neighborhood. They never heard of Thrive, and was able to start up conversations with them. So you've got to get that out of your head first. As far as continuing to work it, I'm always putting it out there. Like I said, like simple things, the mask, I saw an opportunity and I was like, boom, I'm wearing this mask everywhere I go. If we have to wear it, I'm gonna at least work my business with it. And so little things like that can make a huge difference. Showing up even on social media. I mean, obviously you can't post your way to 200K, but there's millions of people on social media. And if you're not showing up on social media and putting out there what you're doing and letting people know you're thriving, they're not going to know. And that's the biggest thing is I'll have people be like, oh my gosh, I've talked to everybody and I'm putting it out there and this and that. And then I go look at their page. They haven't posted anything about Thrive in a week and a half, 2 weeks. And their friends, they were lucky if any of their friends even saw what they posted 2 weeks ago. So if you're not consistent and putting it out there and showing up, it's not going to go anywhere. Instagram, I mean, that's something like I'm not techie. That's one of my biggest, I'm an overthinker and I'm not techie. So learning Instagram platform has been very overwhelming for me, but I've pushed myself into it. And I show up every day. Every day I have multiple stories posted, multiple, not just one. Every day I'm posting literally 6 days out of the week. Usually, if I miss a day, there's a real good reason. There is a post to bring people to me. It doesn't always have to say Thrive. I'm constantly, like, I just joined another Facebook group that I know I can relate to these people. And so Facebook groups have been big. I'm trying to relate to people there. And I know a lot of people say it's been challenging lately because we've been through a pandemic. Like, I don't know about y'all, but like my kids are still virtual learning over here. So it's crazy. I haven't been around a whole lot of people, but social media is what I've been doing a lot, even more so, like trying to go live and do stories more because I'm trying to reach out to those people and let it be known. There's people that have watched me for 4 and 5 years that like legit just ordered Thrive within the past 30 to 60 days because they're watching and it's in their time, not ours. So continually to put it out there. Before the virus hit, I mean, we were steadily having locals once a month out here, and I was hosting and I partnered up with another 200K Christy Garrison out in Willis, and we just combined forces, and it's, the more the merrier. So I stay very consistent with those key things that they've taught us since day one. If you can get together and have people over, do it. If you can, get it out there by, putting it on social media, having an event, whatever. But it's the biggest thing is staying consistent, Lisa, is first of all, because if people think you're not putting it out there to begin with, you're not going to get anywhere. You're just not. And so it's constantly being ready to share it. And I know lately I've used my phone even as more of an excuse because, like when I'm out and about, because, it's social distancing, right? So if someone asks me about Thrive, it's even more of a reason to go, oh girl, let me just text you my information so you can check it out. I don't even carry business cards because that makes me ask them for their phone number. I don't have a choice to get scared, so I don't even carry business cards. I just have my phone business card that I will send to them. I'm trying to think what else. Like
No, I'm glad you talked about like out and about, because oh my gosh, it drives me nuts that like a lot of people always think I built my business through social media, and it's not. I built my business through talking to people face to face. And I've utilized social media by adding them, like, hey, I love you, I love your purse. Like, where'd you get that? You know what? I'm never going to remember that. Can I get you on Facebook really quick? And then I can message you and you can, share with me where you got it. Like, I'm always looking for reasons to find new friends out and about. And the relationship grows so much quicker. Like, you can convert
Mhm.
people from customer to promoter way quicker than if you meet them on social media. The process of building that relationship takes way longer. So I hope that you guys don't forget that a huge way to build your business is belly to belly, you guys. Meeting people with the things that you have to do daily. Even through COVID, that has not stopped me in any way, shape, or form. I still go to the grocery store. I still go,
Mhm.
to the bank. I still go here or there, the kids have things. And at the end of the day, we have products that, like, look at Recharge. People really want to work on their immune system. You just mentioned the word immune system and you have something to help it, and people are like, what is it? Like, people want to
Yeah.
know. So it's because if you're not opening your mouth, that's why you're not growing. And there's so many different ways. I love how you talked about too, Instagram isn't comfortable for you, but you started to dive into it. And I think that that is a word that everyone on here needs to get familiar with, is the word uncomfortable. You constantly have to get uncomfortable in this business, and you're going to have to learn and do things that are not comfortable for you. And believe it or not, I remember when corporate asked me to talk on stage about social media, I'm like, why me? I didn't even build my business that way. But you know what? Even though it's not my favorite way to build my business, and it's still not my first way, I have gotten to a place where I have learned how to do it. Even though I don't like it, I will do whatever it takes, right? And just like you went to Instagram saying, look, this is not comfortable for me, but I'm going to learn it because I need another avenue to build. And guess what, guys? Through social media, like you said, Lydia, there's so many people that don't know about Lavelle. It drives me nuts when somebody
Mhm.
says everyone knows about this. No, if that's your take on it, it's because you are working in a network with only Lavelle people, because the majority of this planet has no idea what that patch is on your arm. Like, they're like, what is that? You know what? So I would love to know, what do you think, doing this for 5 years plus, seeing so many people join your team, one of the things I like about it is I get to kind of see the mistakes people make and the directions they go that are wrong. And it's like, okay, if you wouldn't have done that, it wouldn't be like this right now. What do you think are some things that people on here, some traps that people don't want to fall into as they're growing their business, that you've seen kind of people fall into that have kind of stalled them out, or, even held them back?
And there's two things that come to mind, and I know some of it is because I've learned from my own journey. I've got, we got to check ourselves too. Um, Management mode, don't do it. Be there for your team, plan things for your team. Take the leadership role, and do the Zooms or do the calls or whatever works for you and your organization. Everyone's different. I go live in my team page probably more than I do Zooms, but that's just how we roll. But with that said, I'm still doing my personal stuff on the side too. I'm trying to, continually reach out to new people and get a list of new contacts, and be sending my link and signing up those free accounts and doing that daily do. Because if you're not doing that, when that door is that door that's going to revolve in your business, and you've got an 80K that decides to leave that you thought never would because she was like your sister, you've got volume coming in that can make up for that to keep your business where you want. So that would be my first thing is, and I think we all can fall into that. I know I have caught myself going, Lydia, you got to get your crap together. You know, this is great that you've got this stuff for the team, but if you're not doing what you got to do first, you can't help your team as much. You know what I mean? The way this business is set up with rating rooms and all sorts of things, if I'm not thriving free and I don't have extra credits coming in, if my checks aren't bigger personally, how am I supposed to dive more into the people that join me? So you've got to set yourself up for success before you can help other people do it too. And, you know, so remember that. The other thing is, you know, go beyond your network. When I first started and we hit 4K, and remember I said I was in kind of a funk and why was I not growing? Guys, I'm going to tell you right now why I wasn't growing. And this is how it went down and how I figured that out is Maria Dillard came for a local, first time I ever met her. And I think it was 2014. It was very early on. And I was so excited. I had no team members with me because there was nobody really local that had joined me and done it yet because I was barely a 4K. And I went by myself and met her. And anyway, long story short, we had dinner and we were sitting there chit-chatting. And she asked, well, how's your business going? And I'm like, well, I'm stuck. And she said, well, what do you mean you're stuck? And I was like, well, no one will do this with me, because I was feeling frustrated that I couldn't get to 12. And she goes, well, she looked at me like, matter of fact, you've just got to find the ones that will. And I realized at that moment when I told her that I couldn't, the ones that, you know, I couldn't find anyone to do this with me, is because I was reaching out to the same flipping people over and over and over a month's time. Now that's not a bad thing. It's great to follow up with people that are in your warm market that have not joined you yet. But are you reaching outside of that and finding ways to meet new people like we just talked about? Because I was hoping my BFF across the street was going to rock this out. I was sure that that girl was going to join me and we were just going to rock this out. And guys, she's not the one that got me to 4K, 12K, 40K, any of it. She still doesn't do this with me. And now she's my sister-in-law. So, and you know, so those things, another challenge I know I've had that can really sabotage people in this business is not having all the support you feel like you need, right? And when I say that, family members, maybe you're not as supportive. I will say, you know, my husband's always been very, very supportive, probably my biggest fan. But as far as my other family members, I've been made fun of. When we hit 12K, I was straight told to my face from my sister-in-law, like practically previous best friend, that, you know, your brother and I thought you'd never get there. Straightly, like point blank to my face after we hit 12K, she thought I'd never get there. And I could have let that really upset me, or I could have gone, oh, well, watch this, sister. You know, you're going to see way more than that from me. Like, it just fueled me. Like the negative, the naysayers, it fueled me to go, oh, watch this. Watch this as I roll up in my Lexus for Christmas. Watch this, you know? So you got to let that stuff fuel you, not sabotage you. Get that crap out of your head, because if it sabotages you, it's going to sabotage everything you've worked so hard for, and you're letting other people dictate your reality, and you just can't do that. My little brother even made fun of me. And like when Thrive Skin came out for the first time, I was terrified, got on Facebook with no makeup, looked like crap, and did the whole skin thing, right? And he totally made a video making fun of me and acting like me doing skincare and sent it out to the family. And it was this big thing and everyone was joking. And I could have let that upset me or, again, fuel me. So, you know, those are some things personally, Lisa, that I've seen, like, you know, people let others dictate a lot. If their team members leave, they get into management mode. If they get told no, it's that fear that can hold you back and literally make you or break you, you know? So
Yeah,
I don't know.
it was reminding me of people that say, my upline doesn't help me, or I don't want to make my upline any money. I'm like, oh my God, like, grow up. Grow up. There's 50 billion videos in the cloud office. All you have to do is YouTube a video and you can find it. And it's like, if you really want to make something work, you make it work. You don't use it as an excuse. And that's the first thing that we do is we look, and it's hard to look in the mirror and say to ourselves, guess what? Maybe it's because I'm not doing the do to get the get, like Maria says. Maybe I need to be real with myself and realize that I haven't been consistent. that I haven't been posting on Facebook daily, that I haven't been friend requesting new people daily, that I haven't, like, you have to be willing to get real with yourself. But it's a defense mechanism with humans. I've watched it over the last 10 years. The first thing people will do before they look in the mirror is blame an upline, a downline, a sideline. My team's not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, what's your PPA? When's the last time you brought in someone new? When's the last time you got on a Zoom? And that's the first thing I say to my leaders, because it doesn't matter whether you're 80K, 12K, 200K. I watch people fall into that place where they get lazy. And it's like, I haven't seen you on a Zoom in forever, girl. They become check collectors. And it's like, you've got a choice to make. You can either get your head out of the sand and do something, or you can sit back and let this, I just feel like we're all so blessed to be a part of something like this, that why wouldn't we take the most advantage we can and really realize how many people we could impact and grow into a better person because of it. And it's just so many things. I could do these Zooms, like I could have you on for 3 hours, Lydia. We'd be talking forever about everything. Because like with so much you said, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, 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 yes. I hope people are so listening to this. When you bring on a new promoter, I always like to know, like, what does that look like? Like if I'm in your inbox today and I'm like, Lydia, I'm ready to sign up, like, and not as a customer, but as an actual promoter, take me through kind of what you do with a new promoter in that first 2 weeks to a month to kind of help them go VIP 800 and 1600. Because here's the thing is, I think a lot of people think that, well, this is what I see anyways. A lot of people will quit if they don't hit their VIP bonuses. And it really sucks, because I have so many 80Ks and 200Ks that did not hit both of those bonuses or either of them. And it's like, can you imagine if people would have quit? They would not be where they are today. Those bonuses don't dictate your future success. However, if you can help someone get them, it means everything to start off a business like that, in my opinion, because you're showing people money right out of the gate, and that gets them motivated, inspired, and they realize, wow, I can do this. Like, okay, I'm gonna keep going because I saw money. So what do you do, in those first 2 weeks to a month when you sign someone new?
Well, I'm a big believer in the connection process, because I want them to know who Mitzi is. And, part of that reason too is not only because that's what we've been taught since day one, is just, connect your team, make sure that, those new people know that they have people here to back them up. If I'm sick or I have something happen with my kid, and I can't get to my phone and this person needs help, they need to know who they can go to, number one. So Mitzi and I are it took me a long time, you guys, to get into three-way chats. Like, I'm kind of old school, and Mitzi used to joke with me, like, I guess we're just going to do the phone forever, Lydia, and I'm like, I guess so, because once again, not techie. I'm like, can we just talk, so I've blossomed into three-way chats. I've embraced it over the past year and a half or so, because when I started, we didn't have voice like messages and stuff, but I do always connect them to Mitzi, first of all. And I keep it super simple. I'm not sending them a whole ton of information. You don't need 1,000 people to hit 4K. To hit your bonuses. You need 4, right? So, who are 4 people that that need this, that think of those people. Sometimes I just, like the old classic, write the list down. Who can you think of that needs this? Who can you think of that like financially would need this? Who are those people? Let's help get you a list going. But one reason too, and I talk about the connection process, is because within my organization, and I'm sure, Lisa, you can relate to this, as the bigger your team gets, the more life that happens. And I've literally had situations where we've had, I've had mega leaders in my team that have had life altering things happen to where they did have to step back. And if I wasn't connected to their team, there's no way I could have gotten in there and helped them out the way I did. And, dealing with losses and things like that. So the connections is not just, oh, they got to connect to Order Thrive or to get going in the right direction. Guys, the picture's bigger than that. You got to look at the longevity of your business. And so that's one reason that I do it. I've learned with my team and what's happened with life, that there's times I've had to jump in and help. And if I didn't know those people, it sure as heck would have been a lot harder to do that. So, and the same with, Mitzi, knowing them and all, that whole connection. As far as, I do shout them out on social media if they're comfortable with it. I always ask people, are you comfortable with me doing that? Sometimes new people that order are not quite ready. It's like, it's a mental thing. You got to kind of help them get there. But once they start the product, they usually open up. I message daily, and the biggest thing is trying to find out their goals. I can tell them and have Mitzi share and whatever, validation, all the things. But if I don't know what their goals are, it's going to be a lot harder for me to help them and know what to expect as far as what they're going after. When you know what somebody is going after, then that light bulb goes off and kind of more of your angle as far as helping them. And I usually keep my promoters in a small chat with like me or Mitzi or, something like that, really small, quaint, before I start adding them to Facebook groups and stuff, because we have so much at our disposal and that can really overwhelm somebody new. So those simple steps in the cloud office, I usually make sure they know, okay, there's your link, here's where to find, there's your circles for your bonuses, things, have them log in and keeping it simple to know all that. But sometimes, Lisa, I don't even go into, oh, you need 8 friends. I'll just say you need 4. Find you 4. And when they find their 4 and they hit 800, okay, girl, go find 4 more. Like, break it down that simple to make it attainable. Because I remember when I started, Mitzi didn't tell me, Lydia, go find 8 people and I'm going to add you to 5 groups. And then you got to get on this call and get on this. And I would have been like, girl, you're crazy. I just wanted to feel good. Like, you got to think like they're thinking. A lot of people think that they don't really want a business, and they come into this thinking they're going to make money. They're going to jump, they're going to fly up the ranks and they're going to make all this money. And these expectations are way up here when honestly it should be down here.
It does.
So you got to be down here too. You can definitely share with them and, have that picture painted of what's available to them here. But be realistic. Like Lisa, I love that you say it's a 5 to 6 year plan, because I'm a testimony of that, so
I love when you said set the expectations, because here's the thing, and we're the ones that ruin our promoters. Honestly, 90% of the time we're the reasons they quit within their first 30 to 60 days, because we set unrealistic expectations for them. We say things like, oh, it's so easy and you're going to come in and you're going to make all this money. And then when they don't, they're kind of like, well, I must be doing something wrong. I must suck at this, or she lied to me. They feel one of those 3 ways. He or she lied to me. And it's like, I would be turned off too if I was promised these things and made it look one way. I mean, it's being realistic, setting those expectations with someone, letting them know, look, this is a business. It's going to take time. Not quite sure if you're going to grab these bonuses. We're going to go for it though. But if you don't, that has no dictation on what is going to happen in your future business. I can put, and that's one of the things I like to do, is I like to grab someone on my team that did not get the bonuses and put one of my people that's like a 12K, 40K, 80K, 200K. And I will say, hey, you got a minute? And I will put them in a message with my person that just missed their VIP bonuses, just to say, keep going. I didn't get them either, and look where I'm at. And it helps so much, because they're like, okay, all right, so this doesn't mean that I suck at this. Okay, I got to just keep going. And I think it's so huge that you said that. Set the expectations. Don't, it's that whole over promise, under deliver, right? Like, we're always over promising people, like, oh, it's going to be this, that, and the other. You need to under promise and over deliver, right? Under promise things so people aren't disappointed. And you talked a little bit about third party credibility, which I think is huge. And I'm the same as you. I'm so old school. Like, it's like when you can get somebody on the phone, I always tell people, if you can actually get the 3-way call on the phone, your chances of getting that person signed is so much greater than even a messenger chat. Yeah. But even getting them in a messenger chat with someone is so much greater than doing nothing at all, right? So do something, like get them in third-party credibility message. But how big are you, just out of curiosity? Are you like a huge sample person, or are you kind of like, do you talk people right into becoming a customer? Like, what's your jam when it comes to signing customers?
You know, I am a believer in samples because I started on a sample. But with that said, am I flying samples out my door all the time? No. There was actually a time frame where you know, hubby's out of work, watching our finances, and I was just like, I can't sample all these people, you know, at that time in my business. I just couldn't do it. And I went 9 months without one sample, and I was bringing in new people. But guys, I'm following the system. You know, I would utilize my credits and help them with a discount, because I would rather them get 30 days and really see what this product can do rather than sell themselves short on a 3-day trial. I've seen a lot of bittersweet with samples. You've got to do it right. If you're going to do it right, or you're just sabotaging your business. Because when I first started, I was handing it out like Halloween candy over here. And I realized real quick, people didn't feel like me. I'm Lydia. That was my story. But Susie Q over here, that wasn't hers. You know, she tried 3 days and it didn't work as well. So, you know, everybody's different with that. So if I'm going to sample, I definitely do it to where, you know, they are set up for success. We're focusing on day 10. I do the smart sample, you know, which I think a lot of you probably heard of that, but the smart sample, the validation's there. We're setting them up for success. When I'm even helping somebody with the sample, I'm always focused on day 10, just kind of like Paul does, you know. But day 10 is where it's at, because honestly, that's where it was at for me. I felt something in the first 3 days, but I didn't know what it was. I just knew, like, what would it be if I did day 10 or day 30? So I have sampled. I've got great, amazing leaders that started with samples. One of my strongest leaders right now started from a sample, but you just got to do it the right way. Other than that, I mean, I really do, and I hesitate to use this thing, but kind of go for the sale, so to speak. I don't like to be salesy. I like to find a solution for people. But if I've got credits that they can utilize, or like today with this 50% off sale where they can get some DFTs at a good price, the pumpkin shakes at a good price or whatever, and getting started at a discount, I feel like they just get more out of it with that full 30 days. So I really do try to put my investment into that whole month to really get them started, to really see what it can do. But I do sample. I just don't make it all the time, you know, like, oh, it's a dime a dozen, come get a sample. Because then I find a lot of people, if you're not putting value on it, as far as value from them, their time, to where they've got to do validation, or you're charging. I mean, Mitzi charged me $25. So, you know, there's nothing that says you can't sell your samples, you know. I do love, though, that now Lavelle has the option to do them from your cloud office. That's pretty sweet. So I've thought about lately going on another little sample splurge. I kind of do them here and there, because I don't want my network of non-thrivers, of people thinking, oh, I'll just get a sample next time. I want them to look at that and think, ooh, I've been wanting to sample that for 6 months, and now she's putting out a sample, you know, like, it's not something I do every time people turn around. And I will use it as I will go for the validation and help give them a deal of what, oh girl, today, if you order, I can, you know, you can get free shakes. Y'all, that new discount pack is the bomb. And Mitzi was laughing at me, because I mean, I was even telling my team, like, guys, you have an ongoing discount in your cloud office for new customers, day in, day out. Like, how sweet is that? We didn't have that when I started. That every new customer can come in and spend $150 and they get a free box of shakes at a $40 value. I put that out there like it's not going to come back, because we don't know if that's going to stay or not. So when I'm talking to someone new, girl, you reached out to me at the perfect time, because we've got free shakes today, and I've got a $20 off coupon because I'm utilizing some credits to help some new customers get started. So I mean, I kind of go for that first, Lisa. And then if that doesn't work for them, budget or whatever, then I will kind of go to, you know what, girl, I really want you to experience this. Let me just send you 3 days. And then I set them up for that 3 days of what to expect and not expect and stuff like that. So again,
Oh
the
my gosh,
expectation.
everything you've said, I'm like, yes, 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 yes. Put value on the sample. First of all, if you're going to send out samples, which like, you know, I remember when I first started, Chas said, set a sample goal, but you'll never reach it. And I didn't understand what she meant. Now I do, because my goal every week is to get out 5 samples. On my way to getting out those 5 samples, I usually sign 5 customers. Like, I don't get out the samples. I talk them into being a customer. And why would you guys think that if somebody isn't going to give you $25 or $15 for a sample, that they're going to give you $150 for a full month? I'm sorry, but they're not. Like, you know, I've watched people literally give out free sample after free sample after free sample, and they're so frustrated because they sign no one. And it's because they're putting no value on the product. Imagine if Louis Vuitton said that we're giving free Louis Vuittons away. No one would want one anymore. Louis Vuitton created it. Louis Vuittons are plastic. Like, they're no better than a Michael Kors, but yet everyone wants one of those. And it's because society has said, this is amazing, you need it, and this is what we need to do with this product. Like, it's like when my team says, everybody I know thinks it's too expensive. Well, I don't run into that. Do you have that issue, Lydia? I don't. You want to know why we don't? We run into it, sure, but we don't focus on it. I'm like, next, and I go to the next person until somebody does see the value in it. And it's because I don't put my focus there that you'll never hear those words come out of my mouth. I may have had 5 people today tell me it's too expensive, and you will never hear me say, everyone I know thinks it's too expensive, because I just keep going, because they just didn't see the value in it, because it's not their time. And I love everything you said, but I love it also when you talked a little bit about, you know, the 3-day experience. Again, the over promising, under delivering thing. We're telling everybody, oh my gosh, you're going to feel amazing. And when somebody gets this product and in 3 days they don't, then they don't want to keep going. That's exactly why your wording is so important, guys. Saying things like, you know, you have 3 choices. You know, I know I said that I was giving away samples today, or, you know, I'm doing a sample discount today, but I wouldn't be right of me not to share with you that you could actually start as a customer. You get like a discount immediately. I can give you free shipping and money back guarantee. Oh my gosh, why wouldn't you? You know, this is what most people choose. Most people choose that because they know it takes at least 30 days to change their body. And then, you know, your second option is to, you know, try it for, you know, as a promoter. Let's sell this thing. You know, do you want to make some money? And your third, and the one that the, you know, least amount of people pick, but they'll do if they just can't do it, is the sample. And that's just going to show you what it is. Like, you guys are starting low. Why are you starting low? You're giving yourself nowhere to go. You need to start all the way up here. Let me customize a package for you. Tell me what you need. I can customize the perfect package for you. Okay, you can't afford that? Okay, well, let's do this. Okay, well, you can't afford that? Okay, well, let's do this. Like, y'all are starting low. You're just starting with the sample. Why would you guys not start all the way up here? Give yourself room, because you'd be surprised how many people will say, okay, I'll do that. Yeah, I want to do that month thing. There's no commitment after that. I don't have to continue ordering. I can get a discount right now. Yeah, I'll do that. Like, you guys you're thinking backwards, and you're living in a scarcity mindset with a scarcity mentality. And nobody wants to join anyone that's desperate. No one wants to join somebody that needs them. I'm like, oh, I got a waiting list, y'all. Next, get back with me when you're ready. Like, it's all about your reality, how you perceive it, and your excitement, and how you're perceiving it to other people. And I think you can tell. One of the things that's so crazy is every Tuesday when I bring a 200K on, Lydia, one of the things that stands out to me is every single one of them are excited. Like, your voice, your passion, you're just somebody that people would want to join because you are excited about this. And that is a huge factor in this industry. A lot of people dismiss that side of things, but I think it's 99% of the sale is it's your excitement, because people feed off of it, and then they want more. They're like, okay, whatever she's on, I want to feel like that. So one last question. It is 10:01, 10:02, y'all. We just got paid. Happy payday. I always say we get paid twice on Tuesdays, once in our paycheck, and then once with this amazing call with somebody sharing all their tips and their heart. And everything. You've been so amazing today. I have one last question for you. I think self-development is so huge in this industry. I would not be where I am today without it. I am not the same person today than the day that I started 10 years ago. I can't imagine not doing, listening to podcasts or a book or whatever. Is there anything, what do you do? What do you think is the most important thing if somebody wants to start their self-development journey? Where would you start?
Well, I think sometimes simple, because I know for me, like when I started learning about self-development and kind of how I needed to incorporate it, and oh my gosh, it's another thing I've got to do, but I kind of feel like I need to do it. It was kind of overwhelming to me, because I'm an overthinker. So guys, I analyze everything before I implement it, and sometimes that's really bad. So I have to watch myself. But one thing that I do, and this is even just in general, like as I'm like right now, I'm already planning for October. I've got my calendar is ready. I know what I'm doing for my team time. I know everything, but I also, that's where I write my I ams. So that way every day I'm opening that calendar and I'm seeing what that goal is, what, those things that I need to tell myself to keep me in that right mindset. I'm huge with quotes. And I think it's because I'm not a huge reader, which sometimes I think is not good. I need to embrace that more. But I've never been a big reader. You'll find me with a magazine before you will a book, or I'll listen to something before, I'll read it. It's just me. But I'm huge with quotes, and I'm constantly looking for a good quote and looking for those things that really speak to me. And I will save that stuff and refer back to it. And then, even use it as part of my showing up on social media and sharing it of what I've learned from that. So those two things are the biggest for me. And I think partly because they're simple. So I know that I can incorporate those and not overwhelm myself with so much going on. But I need to get more into the reading, Lisa. I don't have a specific podcast, but guys, at the very least, y'all got such amazing leaders. As a whole with Lavelle, we've had more Zooms available to us than we have had ever. And even getting on that stuff, if you feel like, oh my gosh, my morning's so crazy, but I need to give myself some mindset, even getting on stuff and listening to other people and learning about their journeys, just so you're not the only one that feels so challenged. It's nice to hear from other people of stories that you can relate to, and that alone helps your mindset go, you know what, I'm going to do this because she did it too and I'm like her, or whatever. So getting on that stuff at the very least, a lot of that I try to dive into and learn from other people, because that's key in this business, for sure.
Success leaves clues. And you know what? It's crazy you said that, because I was going to say it. Oh, sorry, my dog's going to bark right now. I was going to say it if you guys didn't, but or if you didn't, but it's so true. Even plugging in every Tuesday to this, it's a way to self-develop, because it really changes your mindset. I don't know how many times on Tuesdays I get a message after this Zoom. Tons of messages. Oh my gosh, I needed that. I needed to hear what she said. That really related to me. And I know for a fact, Lydia, that you being on today, you changed somebody's life. You touched a soul. You changed a business. And I just want you to know how grateful I am that you came on today, and you absolutely said, I will absolutely come on. And not every company and not every company's leaders are like that, where they're like, okay, I'm not making money off all these people. I'm not doing that. But it's just so awesome that every 200K that I've approached in Lavelle so far has said yes to me, to come on this. And I'm just so grateful every week. And I know that you touched someone today. So I thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. I could have interviewed you for a whole nother hour. There's so many more things I want to ask, but people's time are precious. I know yours is too. And I just appreciate you so much for taking this time out of your life. And all of you guys that got on today, every week, I always have to say thank you to you for taking the last hour out of your life to hop on. Hopefully today's Zoom touched you in a way that's going to make you go run and kill this week, kill the end of the month. Here we are. We're going to go change a ton of lives. And we're just getting started. And remember, the way we end this year is the way we're going to start 2021. Don't forget that. Lydia, thank you so much. Thank you. Happy payday,
So
everybody.
much.
Thanks, everybody. Happy payday. We'll see you next
Bye.
Tuesday. Next Tuesday, same time, same place, same link. Lindsay, my guest next week, for those of you guys interested, is 200K. Lindsay, I hope I'm not botching her last name. Kajin. I'm going to go with Kajin. Lindsay Kajin. We're going to say 200K. Lindsay Kajin. I'm super excited. We have an all-star lineup the whole month next month. So make sure you're plugging in Tuesdays noon. See you guys next week. Love you.